Hey folks, good morning and welcome to another episode of Steelers Morning Rush. I'm Alan Saunders. It is Wednesday, June 11th. Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have their second day of mandatory minicamp at UPMC Rooney Sports Complex today. On my way to practice, along with Ed Thompson and Brendan Howe for the second straight day. Lots and lots of coverage already at SteelersNow.com and lots more to check out there as well as we roll through the three-day mandatory minicamp. I was planning on doing this show yesterday, but then the news broke just before I recorded that TJ Watt will not be attending, and I figured that was more newsy. But it actually kind of ties into the Watt stuff too. Like, I wanted to talk for a little bit about what the point is of minicamp, both historically and the way teams use it now. So, back in the day, I'm talking 70s and early 80s, most players had summer jobs. Like they were not full time football players, especially players that were not star players. They had other stuff going on in the summer. The seasons were shorter, and there was not an expectation that players were going to stay in football shape year round. It's one of the reasons why back then the training camps were so vigorous, so difficult, was to rapidly get players into game shape over the course of a month. Um, Minicamp was like the check-in on that process. Teams would bring players in during the offseason for a weekend and see where they were in terms of their fitness, their size, shape, ability to perform. You know, somebody who's working in a lumber yard all summer might look a little stronger than a guy who's been sitting on the couch. So this was a way for teams to kind of get a litmus test about their team in the offseason. Just see where guys are ahead of training camp. It's not that anymore for a number of reasons. First and foremost, the NFL season has extended. The NFL offseason has extended to the point that it is now a full-time thing. Like, obviously, players are compensated more significantly than they used to be. But not only the compensation, nobody has to work a summer job, but not only the compensation, the NFL is now a year-round enterprise to the point that the team has an off-season conditioning program that started in April. Players that want to opt into the off-season conditioning program starting in April are able to. No one is showing up at minicamp in June out of shape anymore. And if they do, they're getting cut. Like there's a lot of things that are going on at minicamp right now. There's instruction. There are players that are attempting to widen their roles. There's someone like Peyton Wilson trying to show that he can be a three-down player and learning how to develop his run skills. Someone like Nick Herbig trying to show that he can be a starter in his third season. Joey Porter Jr. Trying to clean up his penalties. Young guys with no experience just trying to soak it all in, like Will Howard or Roman Wilson, right? Broderick Jones working on his footwork and his hand placement on the left side after moving. There's lots of things. Fitness is not part of this. The expectation is all of these guys are going to show up in shape and are still going to be in shape. And when you see a lot of the comments about TJ Watt not being here, one of the things that keeps coming up is, well, his first week he's going to have a hamstring injury. It's not what this is about at all. Most players are working out harder every single day of the year than they are for a mini camp practice. It is not high intensity. Fitness is not the goal here. It's not even an objective here. The only thing they do here fitness-wise is enough stretching to make sure they don't get hurt doing what they're trying to do. So none of minicamp is anymore about a player's body. These guys make millions of dollars. They spend millions of dollars on maintaining an elite level of physical fitness year-round. You could drop TJ Watt 365 days a year into an NFL game, and he would not get himself hurt, or at least would not be any more likely to get himself hurt than he would any other day, because he maintains an elite level of physical fitness year round. There's nothing that he needs to do physically at minicamp that is going to be of any benefit for him going into the season. And like let's point out this as well. The Pittsburgh Steelers had a boatload of soft tissue injuries last year, and it wasn't because people weren't at minicamp. Like, I mean, I think there's real questions that need to be answered, and I'm actually working on a story that maybe is answering some of them about what went wrong with the Steelers conditioning program last year and why they had so many injuries. But certainly we should not sit here and think, oh, well, if you come to minicamp, you won't get hurt. Like, we know that's not the case. Look at what happened last year. Even training camp, which is more about the physical building of bodies still, to this point, more. For a player like TJ Watt, with the resources he has, the work ethic he has, it's completely irrelevant. Players are responsible for their own physical fitness. They're not gaining any of that from being in the team setting. So that's what minicamp is all about. And I wanted to talk about that in general, but I wanted to specifically talk about it in the context of people saying, oh, now TJ Watt's going to get hurt because he's skipping the 3-day minicamp. Give me a break. That's all I got for this morning. Lots more on the docket today. We're going to talk to DK Metcalf for the first time, talking to Arthur Smith about now that Aaron Rodgers is officially in the fold for the Steelers, as well as quarterbacks coach Tom Arth and the rest of the offensive staff. Huge day ahead for Steelers minicamp. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications here on the YouTube channel so you don't miss an episode. Go over to SteelersNow.com. Check out the written work from me and Brendan here on the South Side, from Aaron Becker and Chris Ward doing all kinds of other great work. Loaded with content. Make sure you check it out. And then, of course, afternoon drive coming up 6 p.m. Me and Smitty. Until then, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, enjoy.